Hey everybody, Seth Siegler here, Chief Innovation Officer at eXp. Going to be jumping into something pretty exciting today. Maybe some of you out there have heard of it. Maybe some are not yet, or are just kind of heard the word but not sure what it's all about. But we're going to be digging into the concept of vibe coding today. This is one of the more exciting developments in the world of AI, in my opinion. I think it's a real game changer for how software can be built. Certain software can be built, and really empowers non-technical people who have never built software, and those who have actually been involved with the software building process or built software themselves. What vibe coding enables you to do is to build real software with just natural language. This has been something that's kind of been coming along, as AI has developed and gotten more powerful over the last, year or two. But just in the last couple of months, even just the last month, even just the last few weeks, it's gotten a lot better, and there's quite a bit of buzz about it. And we've really embraced it here at eXp. So imagine this: you're a subject matter expert and you have an idea for a piece of software. Historically, no matter how big or small that software is, it's required you to work with a software development team. And at some point, if all goes well, through the process of planning and sprints and, and stories and then actual, software development and testing and so on and so forth, you get, the MVP of your project, whatever you were looking to build. Some of that, doesn't change necessarily, but for certain point solutions, vibe coding now enables a subject matter expert in any role in any business to conceptualize a solution for a particular problem that they are having, and then be able to build that software themselves just by talking to a vibe coding platform, which we're going to take a look at today. So let's jump into looking at a screen share of lovable.dev. So this is lovable.dev, D-E-V. This is one of the leading vibe coding platforms that are out there right now. There's others too. There's a platform called Replit, R-E-P-L-I-T, and then there's something called V0, and all of these are good. But in our experience, as of this particular stream on this particular day, lovable.dev seems to be the easiest one to use, with the best possible outputs. And to give you an idea of what can be done, I'm going to give you a demo of it. And then I'm also going to talk as we go about how you at eXp could get involved with this, and start joining the fun with the vibe coding initiative that we have going on here. This is something that we're very much leaning into and encouraging at the company to help us move quickly, be more agile and innovative, and deliver better service for agents. So I'll show you what you can do with this. You can do something quite basic, like building a really nice website, all the way through a pretty robust piece of software. So I'm going to kind of jump in and show you something that's pretty robust, and probably technically fairly hard to build if you wanted to actually do it yourself. Background on me, just so you know, is I am a software developer. I've built a lot of software over the years, 20 plus years, more years, actually. That sounds like a lot. Long story short, I'm quite old, is what it comes down to. I'm just realizing right now as I say that. But I've got a long history in software development, so I'm coming at it from that perspective, a mix of business and software development, to show you that I know, like, what I'm about to ask it to build is pretty darn hard to build. both on the front end and the back end. So let's ask it just as if I was asking a software development team to do this for me. I'm going to ask Lovable to do something for me. Okay, build a clone of Trello to help my team in agent onboarding keep track of real estate agents who join eXp Realty. Let's see, who are in the process of joining eXp Realty. And then let's see. Let's start with that. Make it look really cool and modern with, let's say dark colors and dark colors and right, modern look and feel. Okay, I'm gonna just send it there, right? So I'm asking it to build me a clone of Trello with very little bit of information, but specifically tailored to my use case. And I press go, and we're gonna see that it's gonna start working. Let me see here. It's going to start working very slowly, and we're going to just watch it. We're not going to see a lot of code or anything like that. And it's all going to kind of just sort of work behind the scenes. And well, let's just let it go here for a moment. Okay, so notice this. So it's made a project plan. It says, I'm excited to build you a sleek, modern Trello clone for tracking real estate agents joining eXp Realty. This project evokes professional, right? So then it's basically recapping what I asked it for. And then now it's telling me the features it's going to implement, since I was pretty vague in what I actually told it to do. Now, if I were actually doing a project that was of consequence or important to me, to make sure Lovable gets right and doesn't miss any features right off the first bat, I would actually use ChatGPT to ask it to create a prompt for me to put into Lovable, so that could be more robust. But I was really vague, and Lovable's filling in the gaps for me. And for this project, that's absolutely fine. But if you're building something in the future yourself for Lovable, using Lovable or using any of these vibe coding tools, you may want to use ChatGPT to build out a really long, robust prompt. And these platforms will follow it pretty much to the T. It makes some notes about what the design elements will look like. I just said a dark, cool, modern feel. So let's see what it says. It says it's going to use subtle glass morphism effects for depth. That's like very much modern web design right now at the time of this stream. And then minimal animations for clean feel. And then, so it's writing stuff now, and we can see it's writing board.tsx. That's the name of the file it's writing. I could actually press this and see it generating code. You don't have to look at this, right? If this is like, it makes no sense, because you don't have to worry about it, because it's going to actually, doesn't matter. It's writing the code for you. And this will sort of churn away, and then we can come back and look at it in a moment. But I wanted to sort of bring you, while that sort of works, let's take a look at some other stuff. As I mentioned, vibe coding is an initiative at eXp that we're very much leaned into. And so we encourage all of our staff to actually, get your hands dirty with this, jump into it, and just learn about it. It's not something that really requires, much training. It's something that's best learned by just jumping in and doing it. So we have this site at vibes.exprealty.com that is designed to tell you about our program here, how it works, what you need to do to get started. And there's some great features, great sort of information on here. And this is something that we keep up to date all the time, right? So vibes.exprealty.com. This is that's how to get there, right? So you've got your sort of basic information here. Then there's some resources about how to get started in the eXp employee vibe coding program. The first thing to do is create a free lovable.dev account, right? Which we've done and we started working. The next thing is to create an account at a platform called Supabase, Supabase, as you can see here. And then once you create a free account there, you send a message to me on Slack, and I'll get you added to our eXp Realty organization there at Supabase. Now, what Supabase is the back end for the app that will be built by Lovable. So Lovable will mostly create what's known as the front end code. So that's all the stuff that you can see and use and touch and feel and interact with when you are the user on your app. And then the back end is the part that you don't see. So that's like the database and, cloud functions and things like that, which Lovable will also create for you, but it does it in a platform called Supabase. So we'll get signed up for a free account there. And then the last piece is to create an account at another platform that's also free called GitHub. As you can see, that's step 3 here. And then again, once you sign up for a GitHub account, you'll want to also send your GitHub username to me, and then I'll get you added to the eXp org in GitHub also. And now what GitHub is a place to store your code that Lovable will create for you. Again, you don't need to look at that code ever or even know how it works or anything. The way that it all works is once that's all done and you complete your build in Lovable, your code will be stored in GitHub, and then you'll be able to come back to this vibe coding site here, create a user, and then press submit your app. And then you'll submit your app here for approval in our vibe coding program. So this sort of works like how the iPhone App Store works, for instance. You sort of build an app, submit it, and then it gets reviewed for all different usability and compliance and safety. And that's what we'll do over here too. And then if all goes well, we'll look at your code that's in GitHub. We'll learn more about your app here, everything you sort of tell us to do. We'll review it. We'll help out by sort of industrializing the code where necessary. Anything like that needs to get done, we'll do. And then your app can go live, and you and your team or whoever else would use it could start using it. So pretty exciting stuff. Going to come back over here to Lovable to check on it and see how we're doing. So let's see. So it says that it's actually started building, and it says I've created it. But then down here at the bottom, it says error, build unsuccessful. And we can see this big scary red thing here where we would normally see our new app, our new Trello clone that's built here. This big red thing that says it's broken. So normally for a lot of us would be like, I'm out. I don't know what that is. Looks bad. I don't understand what it says. And here's the good news. You don't need to know how to fix that or what the exact problem is. You can ask Lovable's AI to fix it for you. So you see this right down here. It says try to fix this button. All we got to do is press that. And Lovable is going to go back to work using its AI to try to fix the error now. And it says it's working. And it says, I see the error. We're missing the Hello Pangea /DND package, which is needed for the drag and drop functionality. That sounds important. And it's fixed it. And we have a pretty insanely good looking app right off the bat. So let's give it a try to test it out. So I'm going to hide my sidebar, and I can see that I've got a sort of a Trello looking UI. Let's click into one of these. Looks like you can't click into them. but that's okay. I'm going to move it over here to this one. So it says that it's now moved over to document collection. Let's see if I can mark it as complete. It doesn't seem to do anything, and that's okay. We'll work on this here, but seems to mostly work. I can add, let's see, initial contact. Let's test this out. So name, Seth Siegler, Seth Siegler, realty.net. Right, so I'm going to add a ticket or a card for an agent named Seth Siegler. Status in progress, priority, high priority, add agent, and I don't see it. Okay, so we've got some things to work on, right? And looks like that does the same thing up there. So we've got some things to work on. Looks good, but some of this stuff doesn't work. Some of it's just for show. But the drag and drop part, that's working great. So that's good. That's probably the hardest part to build. But let's see. So I'm going to now get back to talking to Lovable. I'm going to say, looks good, but there are a few issues. One, I tried the new agent functionality and the form submission worked, but I don't see the agent added to my board anywhere. Also, there's no way to click on a card and have it expand. Also, pressing the, there was like a, mark complete. Pressing the mark complete button on a card doesn't seem to do anything yet. Okay, so I'm going to tell it that information now. And then things are going to get really kind of interesting. I'm also going to connect the back end to this as well, the Supabase part, so it can start saving this information in the back end. And then we'll just kind of keep adding features to this. But I wanted to show you just the general idea of how easy this is and non-technical this is. You just need to be a subject matter expert, which you all are, right? You're the subject matter expert of what you do in your role here at eXp. And you know best how your process works and what the software, that would most help, you and your role or your team, work. Those little things, being the domain expert, the subject matter expert. So you're really the best person to tell the AI exactly what it is you want it to do, and then have it tailor this for you. And this, just what we're doing now, this is the whole thing. This is it, right? So you're just talking to the AI now and having it write all this code. It's writing a lot of code here behind the scenes, right? So it's fixing these issues one by one, it says. Again, we're like, look at all this code that's happening. This is exciting. I don't know what it means. Don't worry about it. And you can just let it work. And you focus on the features, and you focus on what it needs to look like and feel like, and feature-wise what it needs to have. And then you just tell it, this doesn't work. Fix this, change that. And it gets down to business and starts doing it. So again, while it works, let's jump around over here to Supabase. So I just want to show you what Supabase looks like. And all you need to do here is create an account. There's nothing else really to know about it at this time. Just to get started, you can create a free account. And then, so you would just do this. I already have an account, so this is what it looks like once you have one. And then you'd have a team name, would be your name, your name would be the team name, right? But once you have it, and then here I'm going to come back over to Lovable. I'll show you how to connect it. But again, Supabase is the back end for your app, and not every app will even need a back end. If you're just making a website, if you're just making something like a website, you don't need a backend actually. So you don't need Supabase for that. If it's going to need to have like user authentication, like login and sign up, or cards to save and stuff like that, then you'll want to have a backend. But okay, let's see here. We're back here in Lovable, and it says that it's fixed everything that we asked it to fix, right? So it says I've fixed all three issues you identified. Number one, new agent functionality now properly adds agents to the board. So let's put that to the test. We're gonna add a new agent, Seth2 at seth.com for. Okay, status is, let's say, in progress. And again, I'm a high priority. That's added in, and there we are. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Second thing is clicking on the agent card now opens a detailed dialog. So that's pretty rad. We can click on these now and see, this expanded view. And then it says the third thing is the mark complete button now properly marks them complete. So let's collapse this so we can see the whole thing. And I'm going to press mark complete. And boom, it's moved over to onboarded. So that's pretty awesome. I think we have something that's like very close now to being like Trello. I'm just going to try some stuff. Looks like we can move columns around. I didn't ask for that feature, but it made it. That's a nicety. That's pretty bonkers. So, okay, this is going great. Now let's industrialize this thing a little bit, right? So first things first, looks like we don't have to log in to use this. That's not great. That means everybody in the world could see our board, right? So we're going to need to add user login. Also, I know that it's not connected to the back end since I haven't connected it yet, which we're about to do. But that means that it's saving all this information for this board in the browser, which means it's only going to work right here in this browser, right? So if I open this up on, a different computer later, or another user tries to open it up, none of this data is going to be in there. So that all needs to be saved in the back end. Again, don't worry about that. You don't need to know how that works. All you have to do is, now that you've created a Supabase account, which I was just showing you how to do, you come up over here to this green lightning bolt in the upper right. That's the Supabase logo. You just press that and say connect Supabase account. Just press that button, and then a little dialog is going to open up here, right? And you just you're going to press authorize Lovable, and it's going to take it from there. I'm just going to press that button here. I just went away from that shared screen so my screen share doesn't close here on StreamYard. But you'll see down here now it says connection successful. And then you've got all these different projects here that you can connect it to. You're going to want to always probably press create new project. And then it's going to bring you over here. And then you're going to be like, what's the project we're working on? And it's Trello clone demo. Yeah, let's say Seth demo, whatever you want to call your project. And then it'll be set to, just don't worry about any of this other stuff. Database password, just let it generate a password for your database. Again, don't worry about any of this other stuff for the time being. We'll check all of these settings and everything before your project officially goes live. It's part of the submission process, right? So just get it started, press create new project, confirm. Yeah. Okay. Just confirm. And then it's going to spin for a little bit and your project will be created, right? There's some information here, but you don't need to look too far into that. I'm going to come back to Lovable and see that it's now created, or it's connected over here. Great. I'm going to X out. And then normally it would say connected to Supabase. Here, let's take a look here again. Let's see what's going on. It says connect. What's it? It was still generating, still provisioning the project over there in in Supabase. So sometimes Supabase takes like a minute to actually provision the project that you wanted to create. So that's what just happened there. So I just pressed that green lightning bolt again to come over. Here's the project that I just created, Trello Clone Set Demo, right? So good to go. I'm going to connect it now. Now it's going to be good. Now it's going to get to work. It says that it's connected. Don't press disconnect. Press that over here and then over here. See, it says Supabase connected, and things are also happening over here now. So it says your app is now connected to Supabase. You can now work with a fully featured backend and add powerful features to make your app functional. So what we're going to ask it to do now is say, great, store all the data for this app in the Supabase database, because what it did to get our demo going is, like I said, it was just sort of making a an MVP, or a minimal viable project, to just get this working, and it stored all the data in the browser that we're using right now. So I'm just going to say use the database in Supabase. Basically, that's it. I'm saying store all the data for this app in Supabase. That's my prompt, right? And I could say that in millions of different ways. It'll get it, no problem. I'm also going to say add user authentication. And here's where you're going to want to put a little thought into this also, is think about who are the different types of users who will be using your project. And I'm going to say user types are, for this one, there's, it may just be the one user type. So I'm just going to say there is just one user type for this project. And then I'm just going to press go, and then watch what happens now. It's going to actually generate SQL code, which is like a database coding language in a way, and it's going to show it to you. This is the one time where it's going to show you code. If you know a bit about coding, if you know a bit about SQL especially, you may want to dig into this and read it. If not, you don't have to worry about it right now. You can just let it do its work. It's telling you that this is what it thinks it should do to enable the functionality that you just asked it to do. And that sounds good. It's also going to add some sample data in here. I can see, right? It says Sarah Johnson. It's like all these people that were here before. But it does ask you to review the SQL commands and approve them or apply them or not. Again, if this is sort of outside of your your expertise, don't worry about it. You can just approve it for now. And again, as part of the go live app review process, we'll review it as well. We'll take a look at your database structure and make sure that it's good for the use case that you're looking to use it for. So it's going to now implement the authentication system that it's because it's already done the Supabase, the database stuff. And if we wanted to, we can come over here. If you want to geek out a little bit, come over here into your project that you created for this in Supabase while it's working on the other thing. And you can go over here and click on database, and we can see that it created database tables for us, right? So we've got agents, and then it's kind of, rather than different columns and stuff like that, subtables, but pretty cool. And then we can see it's going to also create a user table here, probably for the, it's probably going to create a user table for the user authentication as well. But back here over at Lovable, we can just sort of watch it work. But also, while this works, we can go over to GitHub, and we can just show you how to. There's nothing to really know about, I guess. But when you do create a GitHub account, I'm just going to come into GitHub. This is what GitHub looks like. You'll never really need to go into GitHub. This is a place to store code. So Lovable is going to connect to this directly and store your code here. And every time you make a change to your app in Lovable, it's going to store it here. Now, here's the awesome thing about your code being in GitHub. If you ever build something so robust in Lovable that it gets beyond the capabilities of that platform, to implement a particular feature, something that's like highly technical, we as like the development team here at eXp could access your code in GitHub with a regular, software engineering code editor, make changes in the code, and then they'll get pushed into your Lovable app automatically already. So like we'll make changes to the code, and the link between Lovable and your code and one of somebody, a member of the eXp software development team, and your code is GitHub. And that's what enables that. So it's a really cool architecture and a really interesting setup that they have here. So all you need to do in GitHub is create your account, and then you'll get a screen name, and then you just send me in Slack that screen name, and I'll get you added to the special eXp vibe coding organization. And then I'll show you here momentarily how we will connect that in Lovable. So I'm just checking back in on Lovable, and it says that it's implemented a complete user authentication system and connected to the app to Supabase for data storage. Now users can sign up and log in with their email and password, see their own agent board with data securely stored in Supabase. But everything I asked it to do, it did, except that it does now show an error over here. And it says, error, tried editing file without permission. Who knows what's going on there? So we just press try to fix it. It sounds more like a Lovable bug. And that happens too. So Lovable, at the time of this stream, is the fastest growing company in Europe. Just absolutely explosive growth, very exciting company. A lot of people are excited about it, just as excited as I am. So a lot of people are signing up, and it's a small team, and they're making a lot of changes really quite quickly. So you will experience bugs in this platform, in just using it, and that is what it is. All right. So we don't need to worry about it too much. So now it says that it's fixed everything. And everything is stored in the database too. So that's pretty exciting here. Let's figure out, let's take a look at it and see how we can log in, right? So let's take a look. So one thing on Lovable is, first of all, everything it builds is responsive. So you can press this button over here to switch to the mobile view. So that's kind of cool. And then we'll switch that back to the computer view. But usually if your project has multiple pages or views too, you'd be able to switch to different pages here. So I would expect to see my login and sign up page here, and I don't right now. So that is something that we're gonna need to figure out. So first thing that I wanna try though, is I wanna make sure that it's storing stuff in the database. So I'm gonna add a new test user, Seth3 at Seth.com. Fake phone number, status this time is documents, priority, just medium this time. Add that one. I see Seth3 here. I'm gonna go over to Supabase. You don't need to do this, but if you wanna geek out, you can, and you can actually look at the data in your database, and look, it's empty. So let's find out what's going on there. It doesn't look like it's storing the information in here. And here, I'll just do a refresh. No, I don't see it. So it looks like it's not storing the information in there. So, so something's going on. So I'm going to say, okay, I've added a new test agent, and I do not see that agent in the database, nor do I see any test data in the database, but there are still cards appearing in the view. Also, I don't see any way to log in or register, and I'm able to access the board. So it looks like it did everything, but for some reason we're still seeing like an old version of it here. So that's kind of weird. I'm now asking it to take a second look. Let's see what it comes up with. So now it's working. It says, help you resolve these issues. Let's see what we got. And sometimes it'll say like, I see the error. That's always a good feeling. And it'll say like, I see the error, and then it'll start fixing it. But sometimes it just goes ahead and starts fixing it, right? And then after we get this working, I'm going to jump right into showing you how to save this in GitHub, and then we can cap this sort of like intro to vibe coding up there. There's sort of next levels of this, of different things you can do and more industrial tools you can use in conjunction with Lovable. But I think I'll circle back and we'll do a second session on that stuff. We'll just get this one working here just to show you, sort of how this works. And then we'll connect GitHub to it, and we'll be set with a pretty good day's work here of building an entire Trello clone, in 15, 20 minutes or whatever. But this is the process here, right? So it is just you talking with the Lovable AI back and forth saying, that's not what I wanted, change this, I've got a new feature idea. And it talks back with you, letting you know sort of the best way to do things. And that's really it, right? And if you can describe what you want, then you can build software now in this vibe coding world. And it's it's a new world. As an example, before I was here at eXp, and it's sort of my previous life was all in startups. I built a startup that took me months to build. I built even just the prototype for that startup at a hackathon. It took 24 full hours to build just a prototype that was only for demo purposes, and then months after that to build it out into like a real functional product. Yesterday, just for laughs at lunch, Glenn and I created that very thing, somewhere between what took me 24 hours, to build as a demo, and the industrialized version of it. Just with one prompt, probably took Lovable 5 minutes to build, right? So what was, let's say, 24 hours for a very rough looking, demo prototype, to 5 minutes, and, months of work would take maybe an hour of work now. And, a team of people could be just you working on this one thing. And then that enables, you can imagine, that enables us to be able to sort of unload the backlog for software engineering to such a huge extent and get you the products that you need or have always wanted, tailored exactly to you in record time. So anyway, while I've been talking here, we can take a look and see that it's finished up the user authentication. So let's go ahead and test this out. So I'll add my email, and then it looks like you make up a password, and we'll sign up. Registration is successful. It says your account's been created. You can now log in. Okay. Email not confirmed. Okay. So actually, when you do this, that's sort of a funny thing. When you do this using Supabase login, it does send you a confirmation email, like a user authentication. So I'm not going to show you my inbox just because you might have a heart attack from how many emails are in there, but I'm going to confirm I did get the confirmation email from Supabase just now to confirm that I was trying to log in, and I pressed the link to confirm it. I'm going to log in now, and oh my God, it works like a charm. So that's so cool. So now I'm authenticated. I can see right here that I'm authenticated, and I can see this information in here. All these agents are here. Let's try to add a new agent and see if it logs it in the database. And fingers are crossed. Whoops. And just, by the way, look how nice everything looks, right? Okay, so that's there now. Oh, and I've been sharing the wrong tab this whole time, everybody. Sorry about that. We've got the agents here back in Supabase. We can see them in the database, so it is saving the agents in the database. I'm going to come back here to share tab. All right, and we're sort of set here. Now I'll show you how to connect GitHub, and that's sort of the final step, right? Because we've got a pretty darn good app looking going on here. So I'm just going to press now next to the lightning bolt for Supabase is the GitHub logo. It's technically called the Octocat. It's an octopus cat, of course. And I'm going to press that. And there's just a simple button that says connect to GitHub. And I'll need to connect my GitHub to this. Let's see, not connected. I've got to sync your GitHub account. Okay, let's go over here to GitHub. Well, I'm not sure what's going on with that. I think that might be a lovable bug as well. So I'm gonna not do this right now because this part is super basic. But when you do this in Lovable, you 99% of the time won't have that happen. You'll just press connect GitHub, and then it'll ask you which GitHub account you want to connect it to. You'll only have one option because you'll just be logged in with your GitHub account. And then that's it. You just press that, and then it'll store all your code in GitHub. And then you'll be able to come over here and see your project here. It'll have everything all stored in GitHub. And then when you're ready, you'll be able to come over here to vibes.exprealty.com, come into the Vibe portal, and then submit your app for review, and we'll deploy it to our AWS infrastructure once it passes the review, and we industrialize it for you. And you will have built a piece of software that you'll be able to use specifically tailored for you. And I can't think of anything more exciting than that, as you might be able to tell. I think it's, I think that this is a new world we're living in. So that's a very fast overview to vibe coding, specifically using the lovable.dev infrastructure and stack. And hope you've enjoyed it. This should be all you really need to just jump in and get your hands dirty with using this. But if you have any questions, and you will as you go, but this should be enough to just get started. If you have any questions, though, reach out to me and I'll get you added to the eXp Vibe Coding Slack channel that we have, where you can take advantage of the hive mind and share best practices that you're discovering and learn from others. And we'll all do this together. So thank you so much for joining today. I hope you had fun. Reach out to me anytime.